Welcome to Fanatics Live, where we virtually connect you to your favorite stars right at home. Tonight, we will be meeting with fans, signing autographs, and engaging in live Q&A. Now, let's welcome our host.
Tonight, we are switching things up on Fanatics Live. If you've seen the show before, you see athletes signing autographs on helmets, jerseys, or amazing art pieces. Tonight's guest is one of the most famous 3D pop artists in the world, Charles Fazzino. Charles has been creating for over 30 years, and over the last few years, Fanatics has been proud to showcase his sports-specific items, perfectly capturing venues, fans, the atmosphere of the game while providing our customers amazing one-of-a-kind pieces. We are excited to have Charles as an official artist partner at Fanatics, giving you access to purchase his work directly on fanatics.com. His Super Bowl 55 collection is currently live, so visit the link down below in the caption to shop and add to your collection commemorating the big game with a truly unique print, frame, or helmet. That's enough for me. My name's MC. Y'all know who I am, but why don't we bring on the artist himself from all the way in snowy New York City, Mr. Charles Fazzino.
Hey, MC, how are you? Yes, it is snowing here in New York. And
well, I'm sorry to inform you that it is not snowing here in Florida.
I bet it isn't, but it is. We're having a cold bunch of days here. It's been really interesting here in New York, but welcome to my studio here in New York, and everybody, all the Fanatics fans. And I just want to say thank you for involving us this year. And, I won't be able to be in Tampa this year, but it was great to have everybody come here to my studio here in New York and check out all my Super Bowl collection.
Yeah, of course. I know that you are a statue at most of these fanfare fests. You know, you go and you do your work, you do your live doodles, you showcase, the current collection for every Super Bowl. But things are a little bit different this year. Everybody's having to adjust. So your virtual setup looks great. Why don't you talk us through some of what's behind you here and what you've came up with for Super Bowl 55?
Well, it's my whole Super Bowl collection, and this year, which is very different than other years, is because of the epidemic. I'm not in Tampa, and the artwork really reflects that. It's working with the NFL months and months ago. I made very different changes to the piece. They were talking about cutouts, and they were talking about how many people were going to be in the stadium. So I wanted the artwork to really reflect that. So if you look at my artwork for this year for Tampa, you'll notice that everybody's socially distant. There is everyone in the stands and outside the stadium have masks on. You'll even notice that I took some liberties where the cutouts were, where I just found out were going to be in the seats around the field. I decided to do seat covers and put my artwork on the seat covers.
Oh.
So I made it like, a really fun touch to do. But, it's just a totally different Super Bowl this year. And, obviously the Bucs are playing in Tampa. So that even makes it, that much more special this year.
Well, that piece looks incredible. I mean, the use of color, all the fun little things that make it very memorable for 2020, 2021, the times that we're living in. It's fun that your pieces reflect the era we're in. So I know you got the big one over behind you, and the helmets are some of the ones that when I first started at Fanatics, it would drop these Fazzino helmets. And I'm like, what are these? These are incredible. So tell us about some of those too.
Okay, well, let's start with the helmets. Each one is actually hand painted. They start off with a pencil sketch onto a regular helmet, and then from that, they get colored in. Then I retrace the design, my team and I, onto paper. The paper is then painted on in duplicate. Then it's cut out with an X-Acto knife or a scissor, and then they get sort of adhered to it with special types of adhesives that sort of mimics the design below, the same thing on the top. It's almost like layering a lasagna. That's the way to really, capture it. Once that they are all put together, and then they get shot with glaze, a sort of far glaze. When they come back from the glazer, then we embellish each one with Swarovski crystals. So you can look at the helmets and you can see all the little tiny details, and they sparkle and shine because each one is unique. And I do them also, each one differently. There's no two alike. And I also take commissions on many of my pieces. Somebody will be like, I want that particular helmet, but I want this special addition to it, or a memory that I have about this team or that Super Bowl. So any NFL team, I paint. And the large artwork that you see behind me is one of my large three-dimensional, I call it a premiere edition. And what that is, it's the same image as the poster, just blown up much larger, and it's cut out in triplicate. And each one is cut out by hand with an X-Acto knife, also, layered like a lasagna, embellished with Swarovski crystals, hand painted with different colors, glitters, and acrylic. And each one is unique. And usually it's a very limited edition of only 15 pieces. The smaller limited edition is, a few more than that.
Yeah, I would challenge you to try to create one exactly like from the other one that you did. I'm sure that would be impossible. Like, just the way your hand moves, the way that your brain thinks about things, it's just very natural to want to make every single thing.
Yeah, when you're talking about handmade items, it's so hard to do. But today everything is made by computers and printed and commercial, and these are really special because each one is unique and each one is painted by hand.
Well, speaking of your uniqueness, again, I'm new to this world, but I remember the first time I saw a Charles Fazzino piece. I have a couple of questions here. In my mind, I always see people who are crazy, super talented, or they just have some weird skill. And you're like, how did they even figure out that you were good at this? So, what led you to the 3D style pop art that you do?
Well, my father was a shoe designer in New York, mother also very artistic. And it's funny, my father said to me one time, well, if you're going to be an artist, you'd better do something that's different, that you're going to stand out. So my mom used to always get my sister and brother and I pop-out books. And I just loved pop-out books as a kid. So when I went to art school, I wanted to do something different. So I took my prints and my paintings, and I took the idea of the pop-out book, and I kind of put them together. And I started this in 1980s, and they were a hit from day one. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was magic when I took my paintings and mixed it with the three-dimensional.
Yeah, started making that lasagna. Everybody loves lasagna. I mean, who wanted an art form too? That's incredible.
Yeah, and my name is sort of synonymous with the 3D now. It's people say 3D artists. They don't sometimes remember my name, but they know the artwork.
That's awesome. You definitely created a great market for yourself and what you do. So you're talking about X-Acto knives and crystals and glitter and like this very specific work from concept to completion. How long does one of these things take you to complete?
Well, if you asked me that 20 years ago, I would have said, months and months and months. After working at it and doing it for so long and having also a team of people helping me here in my studio in New York, I can create so many pieces. So I have a lot of help. But they still take, for instance, this year's Super Bowl piece took about 3 to 4 months working with the NFL, deciding what we're going to do, what it should look like, and, doing some sketches and designs and sending it to them. So months of work.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, it definitely looks like something that a lot of time and love has been invested in. So I'm sure that makes the collectors that much more happy that this is obviously a piece of work that goes a long, long way past just the frame. So last question that I have for you, and it's really not even a question, it's more like an open invitation for you to just brag a little bit, because everybody loves that, right? So who are some of the names of people who have your artwork, collect your artwork that the viewers might recognize? Let's name drop a little bit.
You mean in football or sports or?
Football, sports, yeah. Anybody you think tuning in might know.
Tom Brady's father bought a piece for Tom Brady for his birthday. The Manning brothers, Victor Espinoza in horse racing, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Reggie Jackson, presidents, quite a few of them.
Whoa.
Yeah,
There we go.
Lady Gaga, I did a piece for after her show at the Super Bowl. Her dad commissioned me to do a couple of pieces actually, for his restaurant based on Gaga's, performance. Paul McCartney,
Whoa.
his day at his halftime show, I created a piece for him. And Michael Jordan in basketball was a big collector. I'm always amazed. The sad thing is, though, I don't always meet everybody. So,
Right.
it's sometimes they purchase at an art gallery, or they see my artwork at the airport or something, and at one of the installations, and they get it through an art dealer, or for instance on Fanatics, they may buy it there. So I don't always meet them, but I have had a lot of luck to meet a lot of people, and it's people have been very gracious and really connect with the work, and it really makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's an incredible list that you just rattled off the top of your head. I'm sure there's so many more, but that's pretty awesome. So we're glad to be amongst you right now. We get to see some of this work firsthand and show some of the viewers what you've been up to. But I guess my final question before we have some guests come on the line is, what are you going to miss most about not being at the Super Bowl this year?
Connecting with everybody. It's just such a charge for me to be there. We always set up a beautiful display at either the stadium or the local convention center at the NFL Experience. Sometimes we have multiple collections showing. And that's what it is. It's sort of, this is great doing virtual, but something about connecting with people. I'll sit there and personalize and sign posters for hours, and people will tell me where they've seen my artwork and, why the artwork speaks to them. And that's what I miss most. And especially, this is my 21st year of working with the NFL on Super Bowl, and the first year that I will not be at the Super Bowl.
That is crazy. I guess we all are craving a little bit of human interaction nowadays, all of us stuck in our homes. Especially y'all in New York, like so locked down. But yeah, we still have a way to connect. It's just a little bit different. And I'm sure it's still something to remember. So we definitely won't forget about the Super Bowl.
Definitely.
Okay, well, thank you for answering my questions. Again, this is all learning for me, for everybody tuning in. But we do have someone on the line that you have partnered with to help fundraise. Speaking of the Super Bowl, that's obviously what we're talking about, right? We have a special guest. He is a safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 26, Andrew Adams. He's gearing up for his first Super Bowl experience. And even in the midst of the biggest stage, the biggest game of his life, he is still dedicating some time and effort into fundraising for a great cause. So let's bring on Andrew Adams. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hi, MC. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, let's educate everybody on the cause that you're getting behind and how you and Charles are partnering up.
Yeah. Hey, Charles. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Yes. Big fan, and I've been looking at your work, and I love the detail. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
For sure. And
it's great working with you. I just want to thank you. That was a great experience to work with you and to do some great things for Smile Train.
Right, for sure. With me, I think youth and young children and kids are very close to me. I enjoyed my childhood, and I have
Looks like we're getting a little bit of feedback here, so I can help mediate that in the meantime. But I think we got him back. You're back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it bringing me in and out?
No, you're good now. We just lost you for a second. So just tell us about Smile Train and why this cause is so important to you.
Right. Yeah. I just love, young children. And like I said, I have a couple of nephews that are young, and any way that I can help the youth. And I think Smile Train with helping children with cleft lip and palate is huge. And these kids wouldn't be able to help themselves if it wasn't for us. So I just think us working together and being able to help, being able to shine some light, to some kids is a big thing. Oh, is MC gone?
No, I'm here. I'm here, you guys. So Charles, let's talk about the partnership that you guys did, you, Charles, and Andrew with Smile Train. What are you guys doing to help raise money for the organization?
Yes, what we're doing is a portion of every poster that is ordered during the before and after the Super Bowl, a portion of the proceeds are going to be donated to Smile Train through Andrew.
Right.
Then we're also going to be donating quite different pieces of Super Bowl, helmet, larger pieces, and they're also going to be 100% of the proceeds will go to Smile Train. So hopefully we can really raise a lot of money and really do some good. And I was happy that I was able to do it, and only because of Andrew. So
well, great. No, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Your artwork, like you said, you got inspired as a kid with these pop-up books, so it's kind of got that to your heart kid feel. So it's awesome that you get that link with this being a kids-based organization and helping these children out with their smiles.
For sure.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for hopping on with us and explaining to us what you're doing, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. And Charles, thank you for working with me, and I really appreciate it.
Great, Andrew, and good luck.
Thank you.
So you can visit smiletrain.org for more information on how to support their cause and help change the world one smile at a time. And like Charles Fazzino just told us, you can help the cause by buying these Super Bowl items and these Super Bowl posters, and 10% or a portion of the proceeds will be going to smiletrain.org. All right. Are you ready for some questions from your fans, your followers?
Sure.
Okay, so our first question comes from Charlie Toronto. He's actually the resident artist here at Fanatics. We've been working with him for a few years, and he does these cool one-of-a-kind hand-painted pieces and some giclées, and he's got that same colorful eye as you. So let's see what Charlie wants to ask you.
Hey Charles, Charlie Toronto here. Wanted to ask you a question, Charlie to Charlie. So, how has your style evolved over the years? Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Charlie, for the question. Yes, it's really evolved over the years. In the early years, it was really more primitive and a little bit more spontaneous. I think today I put a really strong attention to details. I find that my collectors love details. So whether I'm drawing a city or a country or a team, or whether it's soccer in Europe or the United States or the Olympics, I try to bring a lot of information and details into it. So if you look at my pieces from like 1980 and you look at them now, they almost look like two different things. They're just so different today. And the color palette that I use is much more brighter and more colorful. And I think that's what, before we were talking about kids really identify with my artwork because they really can identify with the color and the three-dimensional part of it.
Right, it makes it fun and engaging for sure. Yeah. I think we have some good questions rolling in from our viewers online. So who's up first? We got Gregorio. What is the most bizarre piece you have made, and what is your favorite? So maybe a two-part question. What's the most crazy piece you've ever done?
Craziest piece? I have so many crazy pieces every year that I do. I mean, everything from, I did a Star Trek piece last year and a Next Generation piece that never actually came out, even though it was beautiful. And, the American flag piece is one of my favorites that came out also last year. And it's because I do so many different themes, it's so hard to say, well, that's my favorite. Or, but as far as crazies, believe me, I get crazy commissions, that I can't even go into. They're just sometimes, people really want something crazy sometimes.
Yeah, just off the wall, something to add. I think that's your style at the same time. I wouldn't say your style is standard. It's definitely out there, but that's what people love about it.
Right.
So next, I think we got another question. This is from Ed. He wants to know, how does sports influence you in your art? Great show.
Well, I couldn't play sports as a kid. I really was bad. So there's an old saying, if you can't play, paint. So That's what I do. I mean, I enjoy watching, the Super Bowl. It's like, one of my favorite things to do. I love football. And I think that's really played into why the football pieces, for instance, are so fabulous. But then again, I'm born in the Bronx and was born not far from Yankee Stadium. I love doing the Yankees artwork also in baseball. So I find that whatever I do like, they come out a little bit better.
That's a good point. Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions for you too, as we were putting this show together. Were you always wanting to do sports pieces, or did it just lead to this, like, well, I love the game, so I know I can make a piece of artwork that I love?
It actually started back with the Yankees, and my collectors were asking me. They love my pieces on New York and pieces on Switzerland or different cities that I paint, Berlin. And they said, well, how about doing a Yankees piece? And I said, well, I have to get permission from the Yankees to use the logo and to paint the stadium and to do all that. So many years ago, that's what I did. I approached Major League Baseball, showed them my artwork. They loved it. And they said, yeah, we'd love to give you a license to do that pop-up artwork with using our logo. So, today, fast forward, I'm officially licensed by, the Olympics, by Major League Baseball, by football, by the, you name it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
The artwork seems to just lend itself to many themes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I know at least Americans, we always pride ourselves with our city by our team. It's like, oh no, I have city pride, but you also claim your team. So it's kind of smart to not only do the New York pieces, but you got to do the Yankees pieces, the Mets pieces. Super Bowl, you got to do them for both teams, but people take a lot of pride in that. So that's a cool take on it.
Yep. And people always ask me, what's your favorite team? What's this? And, I'm maybe doing a signing in Boston. I'm not going to say I'm a New York fan.
Yeah, you better be careful.
I'm in California. I'm not going to say so. I really, I just say, well, they're all my favorites,
Right. You got to like them all. They all have good colors. They all have good something to work with. So, yeah, you can just play neutral. You can play Switzerland. You don't have to just play Switzerland. You can play Switzerland. Okay, before we wrap up this show, which has been a lot of fun, by the way, I'm having a great time, we're going to take a short break for a word for our sponsor.
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
So I usually put the athletes in the hot seat, and we learn a little bit about these, these rookies or these retired players, but this is different. I want to get into Charles Fazzino's head about just how you feel about New York, how you feel about your art, and I just want to know just some fun facts about you. So this is rapid fire. I'm going to give you a topic, and you just shoot me back really quickly, okay?
Okay.
All right. Favorite band?
Maroon 5.
Good one. Night owl or early bird?
Oh, definitely night.
Do you paint at night?
I do. I have, yes. Not all the time, but yes.
What are your standard office hours?
I don't get in until 10:30, 11, and I leave at 6:30, 7.
Okay, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Snowstorm or a heat wave in New York City?
Very hot. I love heat.
Oh, same. That's why I'm in Florida. Your favorite color to use in your art?
Shades of blue.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay, you're getting street food in New York City. You got to go up to a truck or something. You got to get something quickly. Where are you going?
Halal.
What's that?
In New York, they're all over the streets in New York. It's a chicken mixed with rice dishes. They have gyros, and it's sort of a special dish. I think it's Middle Eastern, and they're all
Mediterranean or something.
Yeah, halal. It's called.
Yum. Okay, noted. For whenever I make it back to New York City one of these days. A pro team that you think has the best color combo?
Probably the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, you like the little green tones in there?
Great helmets too. I love their helmets.
Yeah. Okay, one word to describe how you feel when you're completely done with a piece.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, wow, that's a good one. An artist who inspires you the most.
Red Grooms.
Give me a little background.
He is a three-dimensional sculptural artist in Grand Central back in the 90s, early 90s. He did these huge sculptural pieces. Kind of reminds me of my work.
Yeah.
One of his shows was called Ruckus, and he made a whole subway and filled it with crazy New Yorkers inside in paper mache and just amazing pieces. So if you
That's awesome.
you want to see really cool work, look up Red Grooms.
Okay, I will do that. Do you work in silence or do you need background noise?
Blaring music.
Like level 100?
Yeah, it's pretty loud. People are always taken back by that. But, when I'm doing all this detail, it's sort of important to sort of zone out into what I'm doing. And, or let's say I'm cutting and there's just all this, like cutting out paper dolls, and music really helps me to be creative.
Okay, and then the last final question, I like to make you think. If you weren't an artist, what career path would you have gone down?
Oh, a travel agent, international travel agent, or an architect.
Okay, that goes hand in hand. I could see the architect for sure, but architects could be considered artists to a point. So now I know if I ever need assistance booking travel, I can call you. Seems like you got a passion for it. So thanks in advance. Whenever we're cleared to travel, I'm calling Charles Fazzino. Well, thank you so much. You handled the hot seat. You did not break under pressure. So congratulations. I know those were hard questions. So I think that's everything. I think we've covered it all. Do we have any more love in the comments that we want to pop up on the screen as we're closing out? So Charles, we just wanted to thank you for joining us on Fanatics Live and giving us some of your time. Like I said at the top of the show, our viewers can click the link that's in the caption. It will take you directly to Charles Fazzino's page on Fanatics.com, and you can shop the Super Bowl 55 collection and be on the lookout for the Fanatics exclusive Super Bowl championship poster that will go live as soon as we have a winner on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Charles, you got anything else to add for us?
No, thank you, to Fanatics for collaborating with us and bringing your viewers here to my studio in New York. Thanks.
Of course. It's our pleasure. I'm glad we got to connect. This has been fun, a little switch up for Fanatics Live, but great to showcase one of our artist partnerships, and we are wishing you the best of luck.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you, Charles. Have a good one. All right, everybody. That's it for us at Fanatics Live. Like I said, tonight's show is a little different, but we hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you feel a little bit more inspired to be more creative tomorrow than you were today. So let's keep these shows coming. Don't get too comfortable. We have Capo Caco next Tuesday from the New York Rangers on February 9th. And following Capo, we have football legend Charles Woodson on February 17th. So tune in, support us. If you want to see any more of our previous shows or learn more how to get involved, you can visit fanatics.com/live for more information. As always, stay safe and good night.